You're listening to the 212 Roundtable Podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, and Google Podcasts, as well as Apple Podcasts. Be sure to leave a review and subscribe. You can also find the Brew Club at 212.beer. That's the number 2, the word 12.beer. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching 212 Brew Club. Now on to the show. Welcome to another episode of 212 Roundtable. It's I, Tony Golick.
And I, Brandon Whittinger.
And here we are on a weird, humid, gloomy Sunday evening.
Yeah. Dude, what the hell is up with this weather? Like,
it's been craptastic.
Yeah. Yesterday was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then
sun was out, birds were singing.
And it was actually kind of nice this morning, too, because we actually packed up the kid and walked over to the Jefferson Park Sunday Market.
Oh, nice. How was that?
It was good, but I feel like the moment we got him in the car seat and went out the door, I was like, it's starting to look kind of cloudy, so let's make this quick. So
it's crappy.
Yeah, I ran through the market and grabbed some stuff.
I ended up at Lowe's this morning. That was nice. That was good. Got in a fire pit.
Oh, what'd you get?
Just another wood burning one, not a propane one.
Oh, that's so... Dude, so on that Facebook group I talk about, somebody was giving away a fire pit the other day. It's like, we've used it like twice. And I was like... For some reason, I thought you had gotten a new one already.
We were supposed to.
And I was like, man, if Tony didn't get that new one, this one looks pretty nice.
It's all right. We got one. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about fire pits and the weather. We're here to talk about beer and home brewing. And the beer that we're drinking right now, Brandon, thank you very much, was voted number 2 in the AHA Zymergy poll. It's Pliny.
So that was a American Homebrewers?
Yeah, it's based on homebrewers. Okay.
Okay.
I believe I'm almost positive that's what it was. I was just reading it.
So it wasn't like a rate beer?
No.
Whatever.
Bell's Two Hearted was number 1, and Pliny the Elder was number 2. And we're drinking Pliny the Elder. It's been a while since I had this.
I don't disagree. I don't know. I haven't had a lot of different style or different types of beer lately, or different beers lately. I like Bell's Two Hearted Ale though. It's a solid beer.
It's a solid IPA. Did I get that right? Yeah, it's Bell's Two. Yeah, so it was Bell's Two Hearted, Pliny the Elder, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Founders KBS, Alchemist Heady Topper, Founders CBS, and then it's a tie for 7th and 8th, which is Founders All Day and Bell's Hop Slam. And then a tie for 9th and 10th is Founders Breakfast Stout and Wellworks Juicy Bits. Then, how do you pronounce that Cigar City IPA? Highlight.
Oh, Highlight.
Yeah. Highlight. Treehouse Julius is tied for, 12th with Three Floyds Zombie Dust. Huh. And it goes to Left Hand Deschutes. Sierra Nevada, New Holland, Lawson's Boulevard, Goose Island, Bourbon County made it number 20.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then Rush River has another IPA, Blind Pig IPA, which is the very last one. So, yeah. And the top breweries were Bell's, Founders, Rush River.
It'll be interesting to try number 2 and compare that to the last one on the list, because I also have a Blind Pig.
Mm. Do you really?
Yeah.
Weird. In your face, everybody. Brandon is awesome. So, last time we spoke with you guys, we had my neighbor Jeff on, and we were discussing old man beers, which was basically just lagers of days past. that old men drink.
And kind of the stories, well, not kind of, it was our stories around them. And ironically, funnily enough, a lot of the ones had some Chicago history to them. So.
Yeah.
Or, Midwest history. So it was kind of nice to kind of get and dive through some of those.
Totally. And I love the word funnily. So please continue to use that.
Funnily enough.
Funneling. And having Jeff on there was great and stuff like that. That was pretty great to have him on there. I look forward to having him back on in the future for another episode. But we are going to talk about the festival we just participated in, which was the Mount Vernon, first annual I'm leaving annual. First ever Mount Vernon Homebrew Fest down in Mount Vernon, Illinois, which for those of you who haven't been paying attention or don't know, it's a good 4.5, 5 hours away south from Chicago, about an hour east of St. Louis, I believe. So we went down for that. First off, I want to thank those guys for putting that on. That was a lot of fun. It was a hell of a ride. We got up very early. Brandon was very nice enough to sit on the porch waiting for Mike and I as we took our sweet time. That was a very...
I did wait for a while.
It was a very quick trip. We got down there right away. We poured beer right away. We didn't even really hang out afterwards. Ended up eating wings, and then we were in bed by 8:30.
Yeah, I mean, and that... realistically, we couldn't have survived. I feel like...
No.
I went to the fest, like, I walked out of there completely sober, more or less.
I was exhausted and buzzed.
And that's what I was more exhausted than anything. And then at the same time, it was like, we went to that bar, like, kind of sitting around, like, they had an after party that we were, obviously everyone was invited to. So we walked over there, kind of sat at a table, and our intention was to, like, grab some food, hopefully, and, maybe have a drink or two, and then be on our merry way. Well, we kind of looked around, and maybe it's our own fault for not asking. We didn't go up to the bar there. Like, I don't think there was food. And we had all realized that we hadn't eaten really since the McDonald's we had on the way down there, which was at about like 9 o'clock.
I think it was earlier than that. I want to say it was like close to like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, something like that.
We had stopped at the McDonald's and Rantoul, so I know that.
Shout out to the McDonald's and Rantoul.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we were starving, and funnily enough,
there it is.
Using that word for you. It was nice when we were coming into town. We actually passed our hotel. It was about a 10-minute drive from where the actual festival grounds were.
Which is a very nice hotel.
Yeah, and there was a Buffalo Wild Wings conveniently located right across the street.
Very convenient for us.
So that ended up being us kind of almost all falling asleep at the table at this after party. We're like, we need to just get food. So we went over there.
And had how many wings?
57 wings we ordered. We ordered 57 wings. So
between three of us. It was three of us.
For three guys.
Going, yeah.
And then some sloppy-ass queso.
Yeah, that queso can... Hey, Buffalo Wild Wings, get that shit together.
We didn't complain because we were hungry.
Yeah, putting the pico in the queso, fine, that works. I get it. But that was like... cold cheddar cheese soup.
But and I think like the problem with it was they added like cold watery pico.
I think it's too
pico
much
de gallo to there,
pico de gallo,
and then the temperature just dropped, and it was like, this sucks.
It's like a storm.
And then there was chili in there too, apparently.
Yeah, I got a couple chunks of meat.
I got a bean. I remember that. And then we thought it was a great idea to order 3 large orders of wings, which comes with 19 orders or 19 wings apiece.
Yeah.
The irony to that is we finished all of the wings except for about 19.
Yeah.
So we probably could have gotten away with just 2 large orders.
That was good. It was good. But to the actual fest.
Yeah, this isn't a review of our Buffalo Wild Wings. I do like talking about chicken wings. So.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna bring some. I kind of forgot because I packed them up. I did some grilled wings tonight, and I got a little smoker box. So I put some wood chips in there to smoke them a little bit.
I'll have to talk to you about that because I bought one too, and I haven't used it yet.
It's a pain in the ass. It's not as awesome as...
Well, I'm sure. But I also got, for Father's Day, for my grill, it's got the attachment for the thermostat.
Oh, nice.
So the Bluetooth thermostat, which has 2 probes, so I can put in 2 individual probes and monitor 2 different types of meat. But yeah, so I bought the Weber smoker box. It's like this big and whatever.
Oh, nice.
And I've got Maker's Mark wood chips that I still need to try to use.
All right, yeah, we'll talk offline, as Emil likes to say.
Join us on our Smokin' podcast.
Brandon officially hosts that one.
To sit in my yard and talk about the smoke.
I'm just a special guest on that. So anyway, the festival was awesome. Thanks to Doug. Who else? Craig?
Doug and Craig were like the two guys.
Yeah, right. And then we talked to Carl as well. Carl was...
Or maybe it was Carl. Maybe
Craig. I think Carl.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have the names in front of us. We do like you guys. Thank you very much for hosting that. I gotta say, for it being the very first, you guys sold out your tickets, or the festival sold out all tickets, which was super cool. considering this is the first event, a homebrew event there, which is pretty cool. And there was a lot of people there. It was very well organized. It was not hard for us to set up once we got there. I mean, we had our own issues with the beer and shit, but everything was super well organized. It ran very smoothly, and the beers that I got to try, I did really like. Two that stand out was that sour peach beer.
Was it apricot?
Sour apricot,
Yes.
yeah, that sour. You told me to go ahead that, right? You and Mike told me to drink that. And do you remember that guy's name at all?
Nope.
I'll have to look back and I'll have to link it.
I can probably look up if I can. I don't know if they ever sent an updated map, but I could probably look at the map and make a guess.
Figure it out.
Because I think they were right next to were they the ones right next to the homebrew store?
Shop, yeah. Which I have that name. Those guys were cool too. So that apricot sour was delicious, and then there's another guy out there who I don't know if I think he'd been brewing for a while, and he'd been growing his own hops as well. And his two beers were just polar opposites. He had a session IPA and a double IPA, and both of those beers were really, really, really good. Those are my favorite beers of the day. Unfortunately, we did not get to try the People's Choice beer, which was the Dirty Blonde Bombshell, I think it's what it's called.
Yep.
And I wish I would have known what that was, because it's coffee and vanilla to a blonde ale.
Yeah, and I did. So I went up to them.
I saw the sign.
I tried something from them, and I remember seeing the sign, and I was like, I'm not really in the mood for a blonde ale. But yeah, if I'd known those other flavor profiles,
I did not know those were in there. Yeah, that would have been up there for me to try. And Mike's tart cherry beer, which we can now officially call it tart cherry beer. We didn't really call it that because we weren't sure how sweet those Michigan cherries were going to be. That beer was amazing. I was very proud to be serving that beer at the festival. I drank that the most. And overall, out of all the votes, we did not win People's Choice. But when the votes were all tallied, Mike actually came in third place. They didn't announce third place or anything. There wasn't a first, second, or there wasn't a second and third. It was just first place. Yeah. But overall, Mike got third most votes there for it. So congratulations.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to drinking that beer again. And I know it was not a cheap beer to make. It was 10 pounds of cherries in a 5-gallon batch. So it's 2 pounds of cherries per gallon.
Just glad he finally found something to do with those cherries, because he's been talking about it forever.
Well, yeah, he wanted to do so because he still has his barrel. He still has his barrel-aged wheat.
Yeah.
So he's got to brew again. He's got to blend that soon. I know he was talking about doing that. But I definitely want to mess around with some of those sweet cherries again and doing the kettle sour. But yeah, Emil's IPA. Where's the haze, bro? I said bro. That's not supposed to be in there. Where's the haze? That was pretty good. I liked it. I like the way that turned out. There's a very little bit amount of that left at my house right now. I haven't drank it at all. I made sure it was pouring.
Should have brought it.
I know I should have. Could have talked about it.
Yeah.
Damn it. That was good. And then there's still some of the Doomslayer or Soul Survivor cinnamon barrel aged out, which we didn't talk about. We announced it right before. We brought our first variant ever of the barrel aged Soul Survivor, and we had added toasted cinnamon sticks to the keg, and I thought that turned out pretty darn good.
It did. I mean, just how simple it was.
Yeah.
You just toasted 2 cinnamon sticks and tossed them in there.
Yeah, man, that was it. I actually soaked in some rum too.
And they were still in the.
They're still in there now.
In the keg, yeah.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It adds up. If had we done more than that, it would have been overpowering. We probably could have got away with 1 stick. Would have been nice, but I thought that was a good amount of cinnamon that ended up in that beer.
Yeah, I feel like one would have gotten lost.
Yeah, you're right. Well, now Emil's got vanilla, and Have got the dark cocoa powder.
Oh, yeah.
Still want to do that. I'm really not sure how vanilla is going to work fine. I have concerns about adding the cocoa powder because it's an already carbonated, kegged beer,
and it's powder.
Yeah, that's a problem. I think the vanilla.
Well, maybe if we got that Randall, we can figure something out.
Brilliant. We might have a Randall in the works. But overall, I mean that fest was awesome. That was a lot of fun. It was a hell of a ride. If you were to ask me if I was going to go again, that's a big maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ride just having to go there and back in that such a short amount of time. It was nice to be home by 1 o'clock or 1 or 2 or whatever when you and I were home. But man, I was just thoroughly exhausted. It would be cool if all those people were just like 2 hours closer.
Yeah, and we did kind of talk about this. If we did decide to do it again, we would definitely probably go the night before.
I like the definitely probably too.
And what I would assume,
Sorry.
The only thing I would
funnily enough, definitely probably we'd be going.
What would be awesome is if we could move the date to not the current weekend that it is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we committed to this event, there was just so many other things that popped up that were a little bit closer.
Yeah,
and would have been not better for us to do, but
springtime one would have been cool. So I don't know, maybe. And we also talked to Doug. He apparently both. I think Doug and Carl said they come up to Chicago every now and then.
Yeah, I think is Doug's gonna be here in August.
Doug will be up here next. Yeah. So actually, that'd be fun. Maybe we'll see if Doug wants to come on and bring some home brews because I don't even think I got a chance to try any of Doug's beers. So you hear that, Doug? If you're listening.
Bring your beer.
Bring your beer. When we talk, we'll have you bring some beer. So that was fun, and I think that's it for festivals this year. We're not doing anything else.
I agree.
That's
because that's exhausting, though.
It is, man. I mean, the good news is that we just acquired a jockey box. Maybe if something else pops up that's a little simple, that's like hyper local, like Chicago would be great.
My backyard.
It would be it would be really cool.
Yeah.
Hear that, everybody? Brandon's having a homebrew fest this year. It would be cool to do something local. We travel for all these festivals that we have participated in, and it sounds like the Great Lakes Brew Fest is trying to get Homebrew Island, some of us Illinois people up there, but that's.
I never got a status report of like what happened in that meeting, but
I don't know. Maybe we'll follow up and see what's up, but that's just a lot of work. I'd like to go to the fest in general again, hang out, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because even like if that opened up to where we were allowed to go back there. I think just at this stage in the game, I feel like we all have got so much going on that committing to being able to brew would be tough. I mean, we could do it. We could pull some stuff out. But, I think last it was 5 gallons per person that was attending or something like that.
Exactly. We ended up we had 4 beers?
Yeah, we had 4 beers.
4 beers, yeah. We had 2 stouts.
Technically 5 because we had Mike's cider as a backup. Right?
Yes, but we just drank that ourselves.
Yeah, which was lovely.
I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed it especially.
So
I couldn't drive later.
Yeah, we couldn't. But that's the thing is like I don't think we could get it together quick enough to do all that.
Not this year, I don't think.
But if the way gets paved again, it'll be something nice to plan for again next year.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll probably look around to see any Chicago stuff.
And if anything does happen, I do still have a hotel room secured in Racine for that week.
Outstanding. Sounds like a plan. We will be there. So overall, I will say that the Mount Vernon Homebrew Fest was awesome. It was a good time. So congratulations to those guys for doing that the first year. We'll see how we feel for next year. It has nothing to do with the fest. It has all to do with the travel.
Yeah,
that was just killer, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the weather actually. I mean, it rained on and off. It only didn't get crappy until literally.
Right as it ended.
It closed the fest down. It started pouring.
Yeah, and
the sun was still out, which was also weird.
And then we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, where it looked like it was the end of the world.
Yes.
Outside.
And we saw some people from the fest at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, we did. That's right. And I yelled at them for not voting for me. Or voting for our beer.
See, and that's... And again, nothing...
I yelled at them friendly.
Nothing against, all the attendees at this fest, but... most of them were friends with people that were already there, like that were there serving. So
yeah, it seemed like a lot of friends, or maybe a lot of friends and family came out,
which is awesome.
Yeah, totally.
And our expectation out of that was that there's no way we'd win like first place, but it'd be nice to play. I'd say third is still awesome,
dude. Third is
considering we had no friends there except for Emil's one friend that was there.
Yeah, and I think he voted for
one of the beers, and I don't even know which one he voted for actually.
I think it was either the Emil's IPA or the tart cherry.
Yeah.
Jesus, I almost want to. I think maybe if you haven't followed us on Instagram, you should. There's a couple of pictures in there. It's the number 2, the word 12, Brew Club at Instagram. You can, actually, it's at. You know how Instagram works, you crazy kids. We do have pictures of the beers up there, and that tart cherry that Mike did was it's a pretty beer, and it was delicious. And I really do wish we had some more of that on tap, because I would drink the hell out of that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how we even thought that there would be any of that left, but
I really wish there was.
But I knew just as the day was going on and the people were coming up for it, I'm like, that's the one that's going to go.
Oh yeah, I mean we had to fill. We were having some issues with the lines and everything, but having to fill up those pitchers. I remember the very last pour went to that guy who just kept coming back. I sought him out specifically.
The Warped Tour guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, crap. What was his name?
Sorry, Warped Tour guy.
Sorry, Warped Tour guy. Yeah, you're awesome. Shoot us an email or a message or something. This might be preemptive. Might be a little premature. Might be a little early. I'm gonna call a break. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Boom. It's a nice subdued day, and we're back.
And welcome back to the 212 Roundtable. I'm Brandon Winninger.
And I'm Anthony Golick, and we're
It's the first time you said your name was Anthony on here.
Shit. Now everybody knows the truth. Sorry.
Your
Brandon,
legal name.
Brandon cracked open another Russian River beer that he promised he was going to do. Well, he didn't promise, but he said he's got it. It was a Blind Pig, which was number 15 on the list. So we're lucky enough to drink two.
I thought you said it was the last on the list.
Which I think is 15.
I don't know. You said
Bourbon
County was 20.
Oh, yeah. That's hard. 24. It's tied for 24th place. I want to say that out of this list, there's probably 30 beers. The way they have.
Is there a lot of ties in there?
Because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 2 tied for 7, 2 tied for 9th, 1 11, 2 times for 12. So this is 25th. So this is the 25th beer, is what it looks like. Right?
How do you have a tie? Just have a,
it's the 25th beer.
Got to be a showdown,
So we had the second and 25th beer on the list from the AHA, the top ranked beers for 2019. Nice. Mm-hmm. The best part is that they're both Russian River.
Yes.
Chances of getting that in Chicago are, you can't.
No, and so the plan was, and we may do this again in the future, was to have a podcast over hype beers.
Yes.
And I primarily got the Pliny for that. And then it was kind of looking for some other beers that we wanted to get. And I actually had a case of Yingling, but then at the baby shower, everyone drank my case of Yingling.
Yes, it was very good. I took part in that.
But then, we thought of throwing in some other things like Zombie Dust and stuff like that. But I didn't want to have to revert to local hype beers, because then it's just not as fun.
The hype beer I want to try, that I don't know if I'll ever get to try it, is the beer I talk the most shit about with a meal is the Toppling Goliath KBBS.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's $100 for a 12-ounce bottle, which is
ridiculous.
And their explanation to me, because they did, I sent them a message on Facebook saying, not a troll here, just I really want to know what why this 12-ounce barrel-aged beer is $100. And they said it had to do with the quality of the ingredients and the wooden box that it's in.
you said, my response would have been like, you could have just simplified it and said, hype, bro.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't. The Morning Delight, right? That's the other one they do.
Yeah.
Morning Delight. That was pretty good. I had that with Emil. Had that. It was a Bears game. You guys had just left. Emil shared that at Ron's.
Well, and I feel
it was decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it.
And I feel like their other one that used to be like this huge deal was like Pseudo Sue.
Yeah.
Or I think it was just Pseudo, actually.
Because now it's Pseudo Sue because of the Sue.
Collaboration with
Field Museum.
the Field Museum. And that's how they got it into Chicago. And now I think like you can buy it at like Binny's.
Yeah, you can buy it anywhere. They have double...
And probably Fishman's and
Pseudo
stuff. Yeah.
Sue.
No, I know you get actually...
Fishman's
has it from time to time.
Well, in Pompeii, and Pompeii is a beer that an IPA that I like from them. I just their price. I feel like we're kind of getting off.
That's fine.
Course here, but their price point to me just does not match what they're serving. It feels like it's price gouging to price gouge, and I know a lot of people. What I've read online, the reason why they're okay. When I say the people, like other craft beer enthusiasts are okay with Toppling Goliath charging $100, is that the second market, all right? Am I saying
Secondary
that?
market?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Secondary market. People gouge the shit out of those prices. Yeah, that sucks. It sucks that people pay for that, and it sucks that people do that. And it seems like Toppling Goliath wants a piece of that. Well, unfortunately for me, when I hear that, you're just charging $100 for a single bottle of beer. That I haven't purchased a Toppling Goliath beer since I saw the post of KBBS being $100 for a 12-ounce beer and got the, no pun intended, pseudo true answer of why it's $100. That's just bullshit. You're just price gouging. Fucking $16, $17 for a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans for an IPA.
Yeah.
That it's a regular IPA. It's a standard IPA.
Yep.
It's not, and I get, after doing some New England IPAs and how much money goes into making that, I understand why those are expensive. When you have a real New England IPA or hazy IPA, there's a lot of hops and a lot of work that goes into it. Even those milkshake IPAs that I don't like, all the lactose, all the fruit crap, everything that goes into it. It's an expensive beer to make. So
The crap of fruit.
The crap of fruit is correct. Charging, $16 for a 4-pack of that, I mean, that costs a lot of money. Now, you want to get crazy, $60 for a 4-pack. Won't mention the brewery, but that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally cutting off the aftermarket, or trying to as much as possible, or...
And you're screwing over people like me, though. I don't do the aftermarket,
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled when I can come across, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, thrilled when I can come across, a 4-pack of something that is,
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say, though, is there's breweries that I won't go to because... they'll have their beer on tap at certain places in the city and stuff like that. And it's their standard stuff. But then at their location is the only place they release, these special bottles. And, they mark them up and people wait in these huge, massive fucking lines. And you only have, a day or two to buy it because they allotted, X amount for, one day, day one and day two. And you're literally dealing with lines around the block. I'm like... Come on,
that's
why?
I'm over it, and it even goes back to we've talked about Goose Island, Bourbon County numerous times. For everybody who's listened to the show,
yeah.
who's followed us to episode number 11 today, you know how much we've talked about Bourbon County, how much we like Bourbon County, and Bourbon County was one of those first beers that everybody waited for like that, and people still wait at the Lincoln Lincoln Benny's?
Park?
Lincoln Park Benny's. And now I think it's just because it's almost become a tradition.
Yeah, it's the thing to do.
For people to do this, that's what they do. I've noticed we've waited in lines at a couple of stores before. But at this point now, we're lucky enough that it is readily available. People going to Costco to get... to get allotments, local stores got it. Local Benny's have it. Jewel had it. Fishman had it. There are liquor stores in our neighborhood now that still have Bourbon County sitting on the shelf. So I'm getting off track here, but I'm exactly what you're saying about like I don't want to wait in line for shit like that and build the hype. I don't care that much. I really don't. I like the fact that there's a lot of really good beers sitting on the shelf right now that deserve my attention. Like, you know what's awesome? The Hubbard Cave stuff. That's basically like diabetes in a can or bottle. I mean, that shit is delicious. You need to share it. A lot of their sweet stouts and things like that. And I meant that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, I really love that stuff. I don't have to wait. I think that what I've seen is a couple of releases where like this Saturday we'll have this barrel-aged version of this. And everything else has been pretty much just readily available, and it is 10 times better than some of the other shit that I've had that's like I had to wait in a line for this and get this shit, and I got this from here. Well, it's like, this is readily available here in Des Plaines.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about Hubbard's Cave.
Niles or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that whole area. But it just... especially where they're located in this unassuming strip mall right now, like next to a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it just says brewery. In big red letters.
For now, and it's awesome because their new location is going to be a little bit closer and a lot bigger, so that'll be exciting to kind of see what they do.
And speaking of that, that was kind of the end of my.
I was going to say, well, maybe we can get in touch with Jerry and be like, hey man, you want talking about you on the podcast? You want to talk about your
Let's do it, Jerry.
New place?
We got to talk, Jerry.
Speaking
of places that might be, we should get a chant going. Speaking of places that might be or that are expanding, there's talk this week of Maplewood looking for a new location, and that new location might be not far from here. We're at your house.
Yeah, so it said.
Great, now people know where you live.
Well, the one article I read said Mayfair. I don't know if that's. Which is weird because if you go 2 blocks down is Old Irving Brewery, who claims that they're in Old Irving Park. So,
which I think they are. I think they're technically Old Irving.
So that it could very well be a dividing line over there for Mayfair. So
at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I'm just happy they're gonna. I mean, I like the location they're at. It's just too small.
I've never been there. Where are they at?
You've never been to Maplewood?
No.
Oh boy, we gotta
go.
Tony
never takes me anywhere.
I went with Clark. Clark took me. We went to the Hawks game. Sorry.
Fuck you, Clark.
Hear that, Clark? You're a piece of shit.
I just said
we should.
He called you a piece of shit.
We should go to Maplewood. Kevin's a big fan of Maplewood as well.
Goggin?
Yeah. Just naming all the past guests who might like Maplewood. But having Maplewood in the neighborhood would be
awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah,
I love their
I've
beers.
heard great things. So
yeah. We were originally talking during the break. You and I had gotten on to about circling back for the Mount Vernon Homebrew Fest. Was there other beers you wanted to talk about? I don't remember.
And so I tried a couple of. Here's the weird thing. It's like I don't remember the names of the beers that I tried.
I just remember what I drank.
Like a couple of styles. The guys that won most of the awards, they were like in the back corner from us.
Which, by the way, that was just one guy, and those were all his friends. He brewed all those beers.
Yeah. So
congratulations
was that the 8 beer guy or whatever? Yeah. I think they had a quad, and that was pretty decent.
Well, he had a lot of good beers.
There was a quad. If you hear moving around, don't worry. Nothing's falling around us. It's just my wife moving the kid around. It's all good.
Most background noises in our episodes is our wives doing things. Sounds like your son's awake. Might need to poop.
Hope he does. That was good. And then and I think you brought it up too. The guy who had just started brewing like 2 months prior. Mm-hmm. Was that the guy that grew his own hops that did the Pliny clone?
I'm not sure.
The guy that did
he did do a Pliny clone. So did he just start brewing?
2 months ago, he said he started brewing, and the guys that were standing that were in the booth next to him were like, "Oh yeah, they got me into brewing. Like I hung out with them. Like they showed me how to do it." So he went and just found a recipe for a Pliny clone, and then the reason this came up was because I asked, I tried it and it was tasty, and I asked him what hops he used. And then he kind of laughed at me. He's like, "Do you really want to know?" And I was like, "Sure." And he pulls out his phone.
That's funny because you had asked him after I'd already talked.
He had done the same thing, and he literally went through and he read every single hop, and then he goes, "Yeah, it was a Pliny clone." I'm like, "You could have just said that, and just called it a day." But it was good. That
was a great beer
for it being a clone. He knocked it out of the park. And I obviously wasn't doing a side by side, but it was a solid brew.
You should have brought a Pliny with you.
I know,
idiot.
Now, did he do? That's what I can't remember. Was it Pliny the Elder or Pliny the Younger?
Yeah, I don't know. And I've never done a Pliny. I've never had Pliny the Younger.
Neither have I. That's the one that's released like once a year.
That's the one that
everyone like lines up for, and I mean, people still go kind of nuts about this one, but now it's. I mean, when so the place I get it from in San Francisco, and I'm not going to give away the name because people are going to go there and buy it, although they'll never be there when I'm there. But they 90% of the time they have bottles beyond bottles of that stuff there.
That's awesome.
So they had a ton of bottles of that, and they had a ton of bottles of Blind Pig. So,
which I would totally have that again.
Yeah.
Blind Pig's good. I'm almost done with it. Both of them, and I think you and I both said that it kind of it's a not as I don't want to say bitter, not as assertive as Pliny.
Correct.
Both are good. Pliny is delicious.
Yeah, but kind of going back to like the beers that I enjoyed there, I do like the apricot one obviously because I sent you back for that one. And again, I feel bad because the dudes that were to the right from us that we kept asking them for things and then telling them never mind.
Yeah, you know what? They actually had a good beer. I'm sorry, I don't cut you off.
Their coffee stuff was solid.
I tried that when I told you, and they used because it was like the perfect amount of coffee in there. It wasn't like super bitter. It was just right. And I forget the kind of coffee he said he used. Sumatra. He used Sumatra for it. I didn't forget. Nice.
Good job, memory.
I lost my fanny pack though that I got. Whatever that like little cooler thing.
Oh
no, I know where it's at. It's in the trash can.
I think mine's still in there because I never took mine.
Perfect. Then we probably both have ours in there. I don't know whenever I use it.
Oh, and it wasn't my favorite beer or one that I preferred in any means, but they also made a fucking glitter beer.
Oh yes,
I said it. Fucking glitter.
Yeah.
And so
it tasted good. You let me have some of it.
No, it was a solid beer. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite by any means, but it was a solid beer, and it was just hilarious because I was wondering what the hell they kept doing. Is they had flashlights and people were asking them stuff, and they were shining a light to the beer. And from where we were standing, I couldn't really tell what was going on, and I just thought maybe it was an unfiltered beer, and they're showing them, hey, look, you can see hop particles or yeast particles, whatever.
I think for Halloween, I'm gonna make a glitter beer.
And then some woman was like, oh, they made a glitter beer. I'm like, the fuck they did? And I went over there. I was like, did you guys do a glitter beer? And the guy's like, yeah, we did. I was like, all right, let me try it. And it was awesome. What I did not do to see the next morning if I shit glitter, but probably would have been a good thing to check.
Oh my god, shit and glitter. That's the name of our next podcast. It's about crafts. Actually, that's my wife's podcast. My wife ever does a podcast, I'm going to say you should call it Shit and Glitter, and it's about crafting.
Well, if we ever make a glitter beer, we'll just call it like, oh my god, I almost knocked my mic over.
Jesus.
We'll call it like unicorn shit or something.
That's what I think for Halloween. That's what I want to do. I want to do as soon as you said unicorn, that's exactly what I was thinking. You and I always on the same page there. A unicorn. You can't call it unicorn blood. That's already a beer. It's a shirt you're wearing.
Damn you, Pipeworks.
Damn you, Pipeworks, with your brilliant names.
We can call it like Fat Guy versus Unicorn.
That's okay. We have to see if we can get some type of clone recipe for this.
We could do like
Fat Guy versus Unicorn and just make it a glitter beer.
Or call it like Unicorn Liquid That Makes You Live.
Shut up. That's enough.
But glittery.
but glittery. Oh man. All right. So you got anything else for this one, man?
I'm a little upset that we didn't try any food when we were down there.
Yeah, we had Buffalo Wild. Oh well. Mike Mike was the only person who didn't try Bob Evans. You've had Bob Evans before, right?
I don't remember. I think I have. I don't remember 100%.
Well, we did have the next morning, since we all went to bed around 8:30, and we're all snoring machines, and nobody died from all the wings we ate.
No death from wings or apnea.
Yeah, thank God. Gotta get that like that, Tony. We went to Bob Evans in the morning, and I gotta say,
Evans down on
I hate brown gravy when it comes to biscuits and gravy. Don't give me brown gravy. Give me white gravy. I thought white gravy was a Southern thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know.
Which is very disappointing. But I didn't really care for that breakfast that morning. But it was only like $12. So that's...
Well, your whole breakfast basically consisted of the gravy. So.
The gravy, yeah. That's kind of the downer for me. Mike got the everything.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Everything.
Almost everything. We didn't have that fuck was that thing that I had?
It was basically like a
Fried grits.
fried grit. Was it? Yeah, fried grit. It was like cornmeal or fried grit. Duh. Fuck. Fried like grits patty. That I'd fuck around with. I'd make a sandwich out of that and regret it as soon as I was done eating it.
100%.
So I'd pour like white gravy over it and sausage. I've been to Ellie's twice in 2 weeks, just so you know. Ellie's Pancakes House.
I love that place.
Fucking love that place. It's so good. Let's do a breakfast podcast next time.
What I should... there's a place up in... I don't know where the hell it is. But it's near like River... It's like Belmont and like River Road almost. If you've ever been to like Halakahiki or that place. It's like a half a mile away from there. It's a place called Blondie's.
Sounds familiar.
It's a diner. It's just like a diner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've driven by it a couple times.
And a neighborhood guy that grew up in my neighborhood as a kid, like he moved to Portage Park, and he like every Saturday and Sunday, like if he goes out, he's posting like where they're going for breakfast. And he went to Blondie's and he'd gone back there like several times. So the one day I told Becca, I was like, we should go try that place. She loved it. We've been back like 3 or 4 times.
Really?
It was that good.
I'm looking for new breakfast spots. I like it. Well, Fishman, I want to go there for brunch. And apparently Easy Street's brunch is supposed to be phenomenal. I've been told that their biscuits and gravy... Now, I might be mixing this up, but I'm pretty sure that their biscuits and gravy come with fried chicken, or it's like chicken and waffles with sausage gravy, something like that. But they also have breakfast pizza. So, and then there's always Fanny's. You and I have been to Fanny's numerous times. It's nice to know that I can have a rotating brunch schedule now for places.
Yeah, totally.
Looking forward to doing Fishman for when the Bears games start. I want to go there, have brunch, and then watch the Bears. And I told Laura that on Thursday. I go, and you won't see me until the evening.
Go there, have brunch, not leave until it's over.
Take Monday off. It'll be great. Speaking of which, we are going to get back together with the crew over at Fishman to do a follow-up. Like I was telling Brandon, did have a conversation with Gus recently, and it sounds like some things are popping off for a part 2. And I told him a couple times as Laura and I were about to eat, and I kept every time Gus had said something, I'm like, sounds like that would be good for episode 2. So I wonder, hope he didn't get annoyed with that.
Was he bartending?
No, he wasn't. He was there. He was wrapping up the bottle shop. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna talk to him, and we've got some other things in the works. I think we're gonna finally make it out some breweries we had planned on doing. I'm gonna hit the pavement here and see if I can get us into some places. Brandon has done a bunch. Brandon's also on dad duty a lot, and I can't put that on him. I can't. He does a lot. He does a lot for being a full-time dad and full-time podcaster with me. So I'm gonna try
full-time job.
Yeah, and a full-time job. So I'm gonna try and step this up and see if I can get us in some other places. We also need to get into emptying the cellar with the Brew Club, which I keep saying it. We'll hopefully be able to get into that this summer. Because, that's the best time to dig into a cellar is in the summer.
Oh, look at these tasty stouts.
Look at these tasty stouts and barley wines and sours. Let's just go crazy.
Sours I'm okay with. I'm not that...
Yeah, no, for sure. But some of the sours that these guys have are like barrel-aged sours, too. No. I'm also excited I'd like to revisit New England IPA now that I've done one based on what Eric has told us to do, the way to do it. I would like to go ahead and maybe have Eric come back and have us, maybe I'll get Clark to do one as well, maybe get you to do one as well, me, you, and Clark. Oh my God. Maybe me, you, and Clark can all do a New England IPA. Is there anything in that? What are you pouring? You need to tell me what you're pouring. It's Utopias, right?
Yep.
What year?
2010 or 11, something like that.
I was there when you opened that bottle like 4 years ago.
Yep.
Now it looks like you're almost done with that bottle. We're about to drink it now.
It's getting towards the end.
This is great. Ooh, it's like a cognac. Oh my God, it smells like chocolate syrup. And
it
brandy.
smells like Hershey's chocolate syrup.
It does, 100%. Interesting. Well, that's a good way to end the episode.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do a New England IPA episode again. I'm very proud of what I did. And I'm done rambling at this point. And I will let you ramble on for an ending here.
Holy cow. Have you tried it?
No, I'm sorry.
I feel like it's odd with this beer.
Oh my god!
As long as it sits in there, and even though like I poured some out throughout the years,
it's like butterscotch.
It gets more and more potent.
Yeah,
like,
it's so good. This could have been after the final pour, which we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but then I was like, there's probably not enough in there for us to.
No, you're right. Oh well. The reason why I'm really amped about doing after the final pour because Kevin and I have written a theme song, so we haven't recorded one since. After we did the whole show of After the Final Pour. So there won't be another After the Final Pour until around the time Jeff's back on in December. After the Final Pour! That's kind of what it sounds like, just so you guys know. Something to look forward to.
After the Final Pour should be like the filler episode, like when we can't get it together for a week. Like,
which is getting tough. We almost didn't do this one this week.
Yeah.
I messaged Brandon. We have one episode kind of in the background here. That is the very first test episode that we did, where we sat around and reviewed, I think, 6 beers.
Oh yeah,
6 beers in my basement, and we thought the computer died at one point. Like I don't want to edit that. I'm gonna leave that in. I'm gonna tell everybody that right now.
Yeah.
So we almost did that this week, but nope, we did a new one. We did a new episode for you guys, and we appreciate everybody who keeps listening to the show. And Brandon and I appreciate you and making the time to do this with me. And
yeah, I think this is a good spot to call it.
Yeah. Also, I don't have to do a lot of editing. I'm gonna not even listen to this all the way through. I'm gonna make sure all the levels sound
Let
good
it ride.
and just let it ride.
Nice.
There was no editor notes tonight. I like it. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
See you guys next week or in 2 weeks. Fuck. Music for this episode is provided by Fluid Minds. You can find all of their music at fluidmindsmusic.com. You can also find their music on iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere else music is streaming. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. Be sure to like, share, review, comment, do anything to help spread the word about the 212 Roundtable podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. Thanks. Cheers.